Hey everybody, the Super Vader 400 here, back for another retro review. And this time, this is my Season 1 review of the Street Fighter animated series, which aired from 1995 to 1997. Awesome season to start off Street Fighter. Street Fighter 1 was awesome. Lots of awesome episodes and strong writing. The first episode, Guile, Chun-Li, Ryu and Ken, and Blanka, who they meet up with in that episode, thought to be dead, have to stop Bison from releasing a deadly virus. Here, you get to see that Guile can't go home and be a family man because he has to be a street fighter. Really good episode here. And I also love the beginning with Guile in a street fight, paying homage to the video games this series is based on, Street Fighter, but also expanding the source material sort of work in cartoon animated form. Episode 2, The Strongest Woman in the World. This episode is centered around Chun-Li. Bison is gonna sets up explosives in Hong Kong. Chun-Li vows to get her revenge on Bison for all the people he's killed and for killing her father. Chun-Li in this episode later learns from Guile that she wants to get her revenge on Bison, but not at the expense of innocent people, so she saves innocent people, letting Bison get away. Episode 3. I didn't care much for this episode, but I've seen it several times and it was pretty good. This episode features Guile squaring off with Sagat and meeting some little boy. This episode is this is not episode. That's episode 4. This is episode 3. Episode 3 is Getting to Guile, where Guile has nightmares of Bison, and later goes on a team. Later sets up a team, I think, with Ryu, Ken, and Chun-Li, and I think DJ, and goes on and on his mission rediscovers himself and learns the meaning of truth, justice, and honor, the Street Fighter Code. Awesome episode here. Episode 4, like I said, I didn't care about this episode. This episode features Guile meeting a little boy and squaring off with Sagat. Awesome episode here. Didn't care much for it, but this episode had one of my favorite moments, and that was the "Do you like cornflakes?" phrase from Sagat. That was hilarious. Episode 5, Demon Island. Guile sets up a team of DJ, Chun-Li, and I think Cammy, and they go on a mission, and I think Blanka, and they go on a mission to Demon Island, where Bison is about to enact his plans, and DJ squares off with Zangief, who ruined his fight career. Love the involvement of DJ and Zangief in this episode. Awesome episode. Episode 6, T-Hawk goes missing when he's supposed to be and loses touch with the other Street Fighter characters and agency, and decides to take matters in his own hand to stop some woman in a stealth suit. He later teams up with Blanka and Guile, and proves that he is still part of the Street Fighter team and has not gone rogue, and stops the female, but the female in the stealth suit vows return. Her name escapes me at the moment, but this was an awesome episode. Love the involvement of underrated Street Fighter character T-Hawk. Episode 7 was about, I think this episode was about what was episode 7 was awesome, but I don't remember what it was about. But I do remember it being awesome. Street Fighter Episode 8, The Spiritual Medium. I think the medium, I keep forgetting the title of this episode, but this is one of the more popular episodes. The episodes where the Street Fighter characters are fighting in a tournament. This episode, of course, produced the yes, when Guile's being beat up by some mutants in a street fighting tournament, and the This Is Delicious, and the signature scene where Balrog is typing with boxing gloves on. This episode had lots of action. I love the involvement of the Street Fighter tournament in the plot, and the mutant plot, and I love the cameos of Birdie and Aiden appearing as random Street Fighters. Awesome episode here. One of the better episodes. Then of course episode 9. Really didn't care much for episode 9, but it was good. Episode 10. Episode 10 was pretty episode 10 was pretty awesome. This is where they have to team up with Fei Long. This is where Ryu goes to Hong Kong. Ryu goes to Hong Kong to find his cousin, and while this is happening, where Ryu and Ken are trying to stop some mobsters from harming his cousin, Guile and Fei Long form a team to find find the people responsible for all the crime happening in Hong Kong. And here, Fei Long discovers that his best friend is using blood money to fund his movies. So in this episode, Fei Long quits the movies and becomes a street fighter. Joins Street Fighter. Episode 12 features Bison. Episode 11, I didn't care much for 11. It was about Bison and him getting some diamonds. Episode 12 was about Episode 12 was another awesome episode. This episode was about Guile. This episode was about Bison being captured by Cammy's team, Delta Red, but it's all a ruse as Bison's men plan to break him out of jail, and several hostages could get hurt, so Guile has to form a team of Cammy, E Honda, and I think I keep forgetting the other guy, and I think DJ to rescue those hostages before Bison harms him, and of course Bison gets away again. Awesome episode. Love the involvement of Honda and DJ. Then episode 13, the final episode of season 1. This episode was awesome. This episode had Guile and Bison being mysteriously summoned to an island, and they engaged in an awesome battle. But it turns out to be all a ruse, as Akuma lured them both there to steal their chi. So Guile and Bison have to work together to survive and defeat Akuma. Awesome episode here. Awesome and unexpected seeing Guile and Bison team up and save each other's lives, and the fighting in this episode was awesome. The fight with Bison and Guile, and the fight with Bison and Guile versus Akuma was awesome. Awesome series. Awesome season. Season 1 was freaking awesome. Going back to episode 9, I just remember what that was. Episode 9 featured Vega squaring off with Blanca, and I think Blanca's human form Charlie is revealed in this episode. Still don't remember what episode 7 was about. Alright, I may review it separately later. Alright, the Super Vader 400 out.